our mining history demonstrates a policy architecture that focuses on raw material extraction and export. Our logistic infrastructure as a result was engineered for Africa to trade less with herself, but with the outside world. That model is changing and needs to change rapidly. We are, as Africans, decisively shifting focus to local beneficiation and industrialization. Since 2022, African nations have elected to restrict the export of unprocessed critical minerals to ensure that value addition happens here at home. What this says is that we Africans are no longer content to merely supply the inputs of industrial economies. It says we want to capture the downstream opportunities and build industries for ourselves in the global economy. This policy shift is being supported at the highest level of our African multilateral system. For instance, the AU's African Green Mineral Strategy adopted in 2024 is a landmark framework in the emerging policy toolkit guiding countries to harness critical minerals for industrialization. Across the continent, consensus is gaining shape that our mineral riches must fuel Africa's own factories and technological industry. Program Director, according to the ICMMS Mining Contribution Index, more than 2/3 of the world's top 25 mining economies are lower or lower-middle economies. Many of these are in Africa, highlighting both our continent's rich resource base and the agency to translate mining dependence into diversified, sustainable economies. Industrializing Africa at scale is a necessity, a plan in motion, and a platform for investment in capital projects across the continent, leveraging on the continent-wide market. Running on African minerals is the global energy transition and digital revolution that are currently in full swing. The clean technologies that shape our presence will definitely determine our future. From solar panels to wind turbines to electric vehicles and advanced batteries are all based on minerals and metals. Copper, cobalt, nickel, lithium, graphite, platinum, rare earth. These are the new oils of the 21st century. In fact, the demand for minerals such as copper, nickel, rare earth elements, and lithium is projected to nearly triple by 2030 and quadruple by 2040. We are already seeing the surging demand at play. It is forecasted that by 2040, lithium demand will also rise almost 9 times as compared to current demand. Under a net zero emission scenario, it is estimated that between now and 2050, the cumulative revenues from some of the critical minerals are expected to be over 3 times greater than those from fossil fuels. In other words, these minerals, all of which are found beneath African soil, will be significantly valuable to the global economy than oil or gas in the coming decades. This is a representation of a fundamental shift as the world is in pursuit of clean and renewable energy. What does this mean for Africa and for South Africa in particular? It means that our strategic mineral endowments is a strategic input to the industries of the future that, by the way, are taking shape right now. Africa is extraordinarily well positioned. We are home to around 90% of the world's platinum reserves, a significant share of global cobalt, and huge deposit of battery-grade manganese, among other critical minerals. These are not just numbers on a geology report. They are the keys to building hydrogen fuel cells, wind turbine components, high-capacity batteries, and advanced electronics. Our continent's minerals can power not only global clean tech manufacturing, but also an African green industrial revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, we very much recognize that today's strategic minerals will define tomorrow's gold trade in significant ways. Thus, Africa intends harnessing this wealth responsibly and strategically. South Africa consistently ranks amongst the world's top 15 mining economies in terms of the sector's contribution to our national output. Minerals and metals account for nearly half of South Africa's export by value, and mineral production is equivalent to about 10% of our GDP. We are stating this to underscore an important point that mining is a very important sector of our economy, of jobs and a driver of foreign exchange earnings. Therefore, this means we carry a responsibility to manage this sector prudently and sustainably so that it continues to underpin broad-based development. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also a top producer of chrome and manganese, key ingredients for steel and battery technology. We have significant gold and coal reserves, and we are expanding into new frontiers like rare earth element exploration. These trends give South Africa a competitive edge as an investment destination, a diverse basket of minerals, a deep pool of technical expertise, and a long history of mining entrepreneurship. We are committed to streamlining licensing processes and providing greater certainty to investors so that exploration and project development can proceed swiftly. Energy, as the minister has said, has been one of our key constraints in the industry in recent years. We have thus taken sweeping reforms in our energy sector. Government has raised licensing thresholds to encourage private power generation, enabling mining companies to invest in their own renewable energy plants. We are similarly addressing transport and port bottlenecks through reforms at our state logistic entities, inviting private sector participation to boost efficiency. This will ensure a secure and reliable logistics network that will support the domestic and global supply chains. Program Director, for Africa to industrialize at scale, infrastructure is and will be a key enabler. You cannot build a competitive and reliable industrial base without reliable power, good transport networks, and efficient logistics. Integrated infrastructure like transportation, energy, water, and digital networks form the backbone that enables investment and economic development. As Africans, we know too well that when railways are inefficient, cost congested, or electricity unreliable, the cost of doing business soars and opportunities are lost. The continent has therefore made infrastructure development and integration a top priority in its engagement agenda. As South Africans, we are investing heavily to upgrade and expand our infrastructure. Through projects like Southern African Power Pool, we are working to integrate our power infrastructure with the region to ensure energy security is shared across borders. Encouragingly, this push for infrastructure is not limited to national initiatives. It is increasingly regional and pan-African. We are also mindful that infrastructure is more than just a physical infrastructure like roads, ports, power stations, etc., but it's also about policy integration and coordination. When multiple countries harmonize their regulations, standards, and investment, infrastructure become truly integrated. Program Director, Africa is serious about building and enabling infrastructure for large-scale industrialization. For its part, South Africa is proud to be a champion of the African Continental Free Trade Area and is deeply committed to its success. We have not only ratified this agreement, but are actively working on institutions and protocol that will make it effective. The promise of the African Free Continental Trade Area is a continental market that unlocks economies of scale. Instead of 55 small markets, Africa will offer a single market with a combined GDP of $3.4 trillion US. Distinguished guests, as we pursue growth through mining and industrialization, we are keenly aware that our progress must be sustainable and inclusive. Importantly, inclusive growth also means developing our human capital crucial for the transformed industrial future. In industrializing Africa at scale, South Africa stands ready to lead and partner in this grand project. We are committed to our reforms to make South Africa a competitive investment destination for marketing and industry. We are committed to work with the rest of the continent through the African Continental Free Trade Area, through regional infrastructure, through sharing of expertise, because our destinies as peoples of Africa are intertwined. We are very much committed to our investors and partners. We seek long-term partnerships that offer mutually beneficial outcomes, attractive returns for investors, and sustainable development for our people. As stated in the African Union 2063 vision, we are determined to be an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa, driven by its own citizens. In line with that vision, South Africa extends its hand in partnership to all of the current and prospective investors and partners. Let us work together to turn our dreams of continental integration into concrete projects and thriving businesses. We thank you for your kind attention. We look forward to forging a prosperous future with all of you. Please do enjoy the rest of your evening. I thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to borrow from your speech right at the end, and I wanted to, just segue with that.